If you were like orbiting in outer space with Richard Branson or something, and you just sat down and got back to Earth and you said, and this was the first Yankee games you watched all season, then you could say, all right, they won the series. I'll feel okay about that. That was just a brutal game on Sunday. If you've been like us and you've been watching every game of this season and you've seen how the Yankees have had these awful losses, there's no way you can feel good about this, even if you won the series. How many times over the last 2 weeks have we said this is the most horrifying loss of the season? It's been 3 different times. Remember, we talked about the loss to the Angels, where they lost that series, but they put up that big lead on Ohtani, and then the Angels come back, and they scored 7 runs in the 9th inning, and we said that was the worst regular season loss that we could remember. Then you fast forward to game 1 of the doubleheader against the Mets, where they give up 5 runs, right? 6 runs in the 7th, pardon me. And then you go to yesterday where they give up 6 runs in the 9th inning. I mean, we've said this 3 times in the last 2 weeks that these have been these horrific Yankee losses. So I'm sorry, I can't just say like, oh, silver lining here, like you won the series. Great. And Cole was spectacular on Saturday night. But the fact that they followed it up with that just really gross way to end a series. And it happened here when the Astros came and the Yankees were riding high and everyone at the stadium is saying bleep Altuve and all that. And Chad Green ended up giving up a 3-run home run to him when the Yankees were ahead 3-2. I mean, it's just been rough for them ending these series. They cannot sweep a team. They're 3-9, I believe, in opportunities to sweep a series. And they're just kind of blowing it. And we would have all been riding so high if they could have just swept them and they were in position when it's 7-2 in the 8th inning and you lose that game. Oh, my goodness.
And 7-2 going into the bottom of the 9th before Herman and Chad Green. And, you want to blame Aaron Boone. You want to have, Chapman, who was warming up in the bullpen on Saturday night with Cole on the mound. You want to have Chapman in the game at that stage. The Yankees have lost confidence in Chapman.
Yikes.
He was throwing the ball 96 miles an hour. They've given him opportunities after last we spoke, Maggie, and still he could not get it right. When you look at Aroldis, Green was terrible. I mean, Green was absolutely terrible. So the positives you're going to take is out of this series is, offensively, they did enough. You like the gamesmanship that you saw from Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez and others rounding third base and everything like that. But in the end, Altuve did get his jersey ripped off, and the Houston Astros were celebrating. And also, the positive you're going to take is Cole. I mean, if Cole can be that in the second half, the Yankees are going to need that from Garrett Cole. Not 129 pitches and 120 pitches plus each and every start, Maggie, but they're going to need a dominant Garrett Cole if they're going to go on a serious run, do some damage, make it to the playoffs, and be a serious threat in October. The other thing you have to figure out is what the hell's wrong with Aroldis Chapman? Because I know if Britton's there, you're looking at something that's a little bit different. You got Chad Green, and I know Green had been good. He was a dumpster fire last night,
Didn't have
or yesterday afternoon. He did not have it, and you've got to figure out what is ailing Aroldis Chapman here. Get him right. Get him to where he needs to be so when he's back, he doesn't need to be the dominant guy that he was the first 6 weeks of the season. He just cannot be what he has been here the last 7-8 appearances, which is awful.
Yeah, he's got an ERA over 18. I mean, this has gone beyond the spider tack to me. Or if he was using anything, he says that he wasn't. He's denied it up and down. But whatever he may have been using to get a grip, I don't even know if it's about spin, whatever, if that's part of it, because it directly coincides with Major League Baseball cracking down on it. So I don't think you have to be like, Einstein here to connect some dots. But if that's it's taken him, like you saw Cole went through some really tough starts. He had to learn to pitch a little bit differently here. Aroldis Chapman's just going to have to do the same thing because the rule's not going anywhere for the rest of the year. And I think it's gone beyond that where now it's a confidence thing. I mean, they're talking about on the broadcast, John and Susan, the TV guys, just about how he does not have the confidence to throw a strike. And that's a huge problem. I was so relieved when Garrett Cole talked his way back in for the 9th inning. That's what it was. I know people are fired up about that because, this was a huge moment and Cole and the ace and he had been great and all of that and some sort of macho sports stuff. Yeah, that's fine. And that was, you get it fired up. It was more, I was relieved that Aroldis Chapman wasn't going to come in and just totally destroy all the good work that Garrett Cole had done. And to put him in yesterday would have been ridiculous. You cannot trust him. He has to use these couple days to figure out what is going on, whether it's between the ears, whether it's the sticky stuff, whatever it is. It's now been too long. And you know what? The other part, too, can't trade him. You're locked in right now. You're going to trade Aroldis Chapman after the month that he's had? I mean,
Oh, no, Chapman's not going anywhere.
He's
You
not
gotta
going.
figure it out.
Exactly. So you got to find your way out of this. And I have to believe that they're going to be working tirelessly over the next 4 days to do that.
Yeah, and I don't know when, last week we had John Smoltz on. He talked about the fact that he thinks it's a finger issue with Aroldis Chapman when you're looking at pitch selection in certain
fingernail?
counts. Yeah, he thinks he thinks that's the issue with Chapman. You've seen Chapman working on mechanics, in the bullpen. Confidence-wise, I think it's all of it, right? I mean, I think it's a combination. I don't think it's just one determined factor. I think clearly he's got to have a crisis of confidence. He's been dreadful. You mentioned the ERA, so that's got to be something. The fingernail's got to be an issue. The fact of not having any kind of substance on the baseball has got to be an issue. All of it comes into play right now for Aroldis Chapman, and he's not going anywhere. Yankees have got to figure out a way to fix him, get him right, and he's going to be a key component along with Garrett Cole. And listen, I get Cole on Saturday night was amazing.
He was great.
I mean, he was absolutely amazing. So it would be, if you're a Yankee fan and you want to hang your hat on that on Saturday night and say, well, you know what? We could put the Spider Tack and Garrett Cole to rest on the road, night game, Strohs, one of the best teams in the American League, a really good lineup, and he was downright dominant. Garrett Cole was brilliant. That they're going to need that. That's a positive sign for Garrett Cole. Get it. But you compound it with following up what happened on Sunday, and it leaves such a sour taste in your mouth when you're blowing a 5-run lead in the bottom of the ninth inning, giving up 6 runs, and Green's giving up double after double, and Herman at the start of the inning, and then you get Altuve of all people. I mean,
you knew it was going to be Altuve.
I understand that, Maggie, but of all people, it's got to be Jose Altuve. It's got to be him walking off the Yankees again. It's got to be him celebrating once again, getting the jersey ripped off, bare-chested, all of that. Everyone's searching for where the hell the tattoo is that he didn't want to have exposed.
Right.
And I mean, all of that. That's the guy it's got to be. Give me somebody else. Does it have to be Altuve? Does it really need to be that guy? Because he always gets the last laugh. I mean, Judge and Sanchez are mocking him. I mean, they're mocking him. And Judge talking about how cold it was. We know what Aaron Judge was doing round at third base, and I get it. That's what adds to the rivalry of the Yankees and the Houston Astros. And I think it's good for Major League Baseball, but it's got to be that guy yesterday walking the Yankees off. It's worse enough you give up 6 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning, but it's got to be Altuve walking you off.
It couldn't have been any other way.
It's got to be somebody else. Give me somebody else.
Can we just acknowledge, Aaron Judge has so many great qualities, right? He's a great baseball player. He's, when he's healthy, he is so right. He's face of the Yankees. He's marketable. He's got all these amazing things, and he's a great baseball player, first and foremost. But, can we just acknowledge, not everyone's great at everything, and Aaron Judge is just not good at this. He's not good at trolling your opponent.
You didn't like it?
It doesn't work because you go back to the Red Sox in 2018 with the ALDS. He's playing New York, leaving Fenway Park, and the Yankees never won another game in that series and got outscored 20-4 in the next 2 games.
Why.
Well, Moose, it just didn't work with the New York leaving Fenway. Remember, Mark Teixeira at the time said you should not have done that, and Teixeira ended up being absolutely right.
The leader of men.
Well, Judge had to eat it there because the Red Sox get the last laugh and go on to win the World Series that year. And now this with the, pretending that he's cold, but he didn't want the jersey ripped off. And then Odor has to double down with putting the jacket on these guys.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was so fun.
But who gets the last laugh? You just said yourself.
I understand Altuve
Judge
got the last laugh.
has many qualities. This is not one of his strong suits.
I thought this was better than Boston.
No, Boston was better.
I thought
but the ending was obviously awful.
Because people are looking at. I thought him rounding third, going to grab it like that. I thought it was very entertaining. I'm not telling you it works out, but it
never works out.
It is good. It is creative, right?
No, but he ends up getting dunked on after all these things. He got dunked on by the Red Sox because they end up winning the series and winning the World Series.
Yeah.
And then he gets dunked on by Altuve, who gets him in the walk-off.
He did. I can't deny that. You're right. The Red Sox got the last laugh, and Altuve got the last laugh in this series.
Maybe Judge should just sort of stay with,
I thought it was fun, though. I liked it. I really
I thought
did.
the
As a
jacket
Yankee
could
fan,
become a thing.
there hasn't been much.
They don't have
There
a
really
thing.
hasn't been much this regular season. The first half, you know what? I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but now you can't do the jacket anymore.
I enjoy Yankees Stros. I think it's fun. I think the heated
Yesterday was
rivalry
fun.
between the two teams, I think it's fun. The animosity between the two fan bases, I think is fun. Clearly, Judge looks back and in 17, not only the Yankees losing to the Stros, Maggie, but Judge could have been the MVP of the league that year, and Altuve ends up winning the MVP, right? So, there's a number of factors that go into it. Cole, former Stro, now a Yankee. It's fun. It's fun. It was so tough to watch Altuve celebrating the way he did yesterday to close out the first half. It's fitting. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's fitting for the Yankees for what they've gone through this first half. It's fitting because, you win the first two games in Seattle. You get shut down by Gilbert, their former first-round draft choice in 2018, who's going in there throwing 95. The Yankees get one hit. I mean, so you get that, and then you go into Houston and you say, oh, my God, what is this going to look like this weekend, right? And, the Yankees, the first two games, it's great. Well, Cole, brilliant, putting on the Superman cape, leading that game 7-2. And you're like, oh, my, this is it.
They're going to do it.
We've been waiting for the turning point, Maggie. This is it.
I know, and
it's in front of us. And then they give up 6 in the bottom of the ninth.
You forgot to mention also co-MVP of the series, Nestor Cortez Jr., who
was great.
Did you realize he's only 26?
The mustache. No. I thought he was like 35 years old.
At least 40.
Yeah, I thought he was 35 years old.
Definitely. But unfortunately, everything feels so different now. You can't keep doing the jacket thing because that's spoiled. So take away your cool home run, celebration thing that maybe could have galvanized the team. Get that out of there because now you had to eat it. And you could have had this great send-off into the All-Star break and everyone feeling great. And here come the Yankees in the second half. And you get the Red Sox on the other side. And they lost yesterday. And, it would have just been all gravy. And you can't get it done.
Can't get it done. Give up 6. 877-337-6666.